Hey, somebody's here. Can they hear me? Or can they hear a Dalek? Hi, Chris. Is this any better? Is this normal or is this still pants? Hi, Ron. Hi, Warren. Is this sounding all right? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Oh, thank God for that. I do apologise. I have no idea why. I put it down to the fact that we lost the rugby. I think my computer, which I watched some of it on, decided to just go into a major sulk. Did you blow into the mic hole? I would like to, but I wouldn't know where to start. There's too many bits about it. That's never going to happen. You sound always human. Don't forget 30 years of having to be non-human to a degree, and be impartial and come across as everything when and not have any feelings or emotions or views of my own. It's always difficult. So I've been turned into a bit of a robot, but not quite Metal Mickey. Yeah, that's terrible. I do apologise profusely, but I have never professed to know anything about tech. I know bits about tech, but never enough to actually repair it or help anyone else with their problems on it. And as shown, for some reason, today decided to play City Beggars, and I didn't know what to do to sort it out. But as Chris suggested, if the first don't succeed, log off, shut down, reboot, start it again. Go on then, Lighty, what you got? What question do you have? Marie still after the red cherry gin. Are you going to the Mint trip on the 25th of January, Marie? But if so, I'll bring you with me. So I'm waiting for Marie's answer in regards to the Mint trip, and I'm waiting for Lighty's question, non-coin related, but interested to hear my view. I don't think I can send it to you. It would make the envelope really soggy and wet, but good thought though. We try and turn it on and off again. Yeah. There's always a way, isn't it? Although I normally do try and turn things on and off before I do anything else, but today I was just up this creek with no paddle. Marie's a determined gin queen. You just got to make it to one of our. We'll be doing these, I suspect, on a fairly regular basis. And as long as you make it to one, I'll bring an entire selection along for you. There are far better things in life. Although, to be fair, I might just be an absolute git and pour myself one in a second. Do I feel the police is partly at fault for today's society? Obviously, cuts have not helped, but I think since they abolished village bobbies, it has got worse. Police don't seem to use common sense. Okay, well, that's a heavily weighted question there, Warren. I'll have to answer it solely on my own perspective and not on the perspective of my current force or the force nationally. I would dissect your question to start off with, or do you feel the police is partly at fault for today's society? Obviously, the cuts have not helped, correct, and that's not the police's being partly at fault for the cuts. That's government. I think since they abolished village bobbies, again, that is not the police's decision because of the cuts, and that's because of the government. Police don't seem to use common sense. I know of a police officer who thought that he sorted out a job to the satisfaction of the victim, About 2 weeks later, the victim decided no, they hadn't, made a complaint. They looked into it, decided that he probably cuffed it to some degree in their opinion, and he lost his job. So I don't think common sense is one, because they are basically tied to dotting the I's and crossing the T's and doing what they are told and how they are told. We are people, but we are still numbers to the bosses, and they order us around in that sort of way. So, in the answer to your question, I do believe that the governments, not just the current one, but the preceding governments, are a fault for today's society, because they have made the cuts, they've removed the village bobbies, they have allowed people to, rather than help people on the street, just video it. Nowadays, if you got somebody who's collapsed and having a fit on the floor or something, say epilepsy, or just say they've been assaulted and they may have been stabbed, rather than somebody calling 999, they're putting on their camera and they're filming it on video or taking pictures instead. That is today's society, unfortunately. And again, I hate the term, but millennials. My daughter's a millennial. My eldest son is only just by 24 days, so I don't think he counts. My youngest son, I mean. But yeah, most people nowadays seem to feel that they need to have a fluid gender and sexuality. They need to have some form of medication because they think they need it, and they think that it's the in crowd to have some form of mental health. It is relatively a bizarre society, and I think the kids are under a lot more pressure than we were when we were young, or I'm saying my generation was young. We used to go out and play block 1, 2, 3 and ride around on bikes and have fresh air. Now everyone's got their head into a computer. Their thumbs can type faster than most secretaries, and it is a strange state of affairs where they know more about technology than they know about their friends, family, or neighbours. It is weird. And yeah, I'm sure there's lots of cops who would like to do things in a much different way. When I joined, I walked the beat. I checked, I checked the handles on shops to make sure they're secure at night. I did all of that sort of stuff. We had the numbers, and that was our job. We didn't have so many people calling us for everything. We get called to become the discipline for parents who don't know how to discipline their kids. So, because they've had an argument, they call us. We aren't there for that purpose. We have people who go missing. We follow around. Yeah, there are some very vulnerable ones that go missing, but there's also just a hell of a lot who's just gone to the pub and got pissed and haven't bothered to tell anybody. And we waste resources on that. Thing is, if we don't resource things as is seen and they triage it and work out whether we should or shouldn't respond to it, with double-edged sword. If anything goes right, we don't get any praise. If something goes wrong, we get ripped to pieces and put in the paper. Question for you: which makes the headlines? Police officer or fireman climbs a tree and rescues a cat for the little girl. Would that make the newspaper, even a local rag? Even if the reporter was there and there's a slow news day, it probably wouldn't make even page 20. But should the police officer or fire officer trying to get this little girl's cat down from the tree, drop the cat and it impales itself on some iron railings and splashes the girl's face with some of the cat blood, then that will make front page news in probably most of the tabloid papers across the country. The problem is bad news sells papers, good news doesn't. So everything that we do which is good is totally and utterly ignored and is not publicised, because that's our job and we're supposed to do it. We drop the ball once, we get lambasted about it. So yeah, it's a blooming nightmare. I'm going to catch up on some of these comments. My uncle was a PC of Radstock and Peacedown. Said too much red tape. Yeah, well, bad stock and peace down. Every prisoner they make, they come to me. That's in my catchment area. And Peacedown's only a stone's throw away from here, really. Oh God, he ain't gonna shut up. I've stopped my lecture now. Don't worry. Pussyfooting around, yeah, but of course, jumping the Bobby gave you a slap. Don't go home and tell your dad he'll give you a slap. Much better days. Yeah, certainly was. Yeah, I am a police officer, but not for much longer. I'm about to retire. Police never helped you with your ex. I'm sorry to hear that, Lorna. I couldn't possibly go into anything. I don't know what was reported to them and what everything was. So individual things I can't do anything about. Let the cat get off on his own. Yeah, yeah, it pells itself. Well, if you drop it on a metal railing, it's going to make front page news. Any bad news sells newspapers. Every time the Yorkshire Ripper killed, the Yorkshire Post printed an extra 40,000 copies. Every single time that he killed, because they knew they were going to sell out and be able to sell more and more and more. Probably getting into his role playing, he won. I hope you're talking about Matt stroke Martha, not me. Because I don't have a dress to wear the weekend. I wear it during the weekdays. Word copper's come to me so much to you recently, yes, particularly if you've got magnets and some trays. Okay, back to coins. Did you buy any of the Christmas Potter today? Christmas Potter? You've lost me now. What Christmas Potter? Disgusting dumb tabloids, yeah. Some of the other papers are much better. They're so political, it's terrible. What Christmas Potter are you on about, Warren? I've got no idea. And yeah, you got to be careful. You get me onto my soapbox, because although I'm apolitical, because I think they're all as bad as each other, and I obviously can't speak on behalf of anyone else. I certainly have a gob on myself, and I can chat for England if you give me a topic that I'm passionate about. If I had £1 for every time we've had some horrible misfit being brought in for effing and jeffing and punching somebody and shouted at us that we should be dealing with muggers and rapists and murderers, and I always say to them, yes, we should, but unfortunately today, because of your behaviour, you dickhead, I'm having to deal with you. They don't like it, but yeah, it would be really nice. Peter Rabbit, oh, that thing, that's not a coin. That 1999 bit of blingy whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. No, sorry. But the Snowman's going to be released, I believe, next week. I think if there's a few sellers are already taking pre-orders on the package for £9, I think, and I've had a word with somebody who is on this channel off and on, who I gather can get, also buys his coins from Holland, and I'm looking again a few in stock. But who bought the nice half price? Oh, is that on Sunday, is it? Right. Who bought the nice half price coins yesterday using that DSC 262? Because I found out it wasn't just Peter Rabbit 2018, it was also Peter Rabbit 2019. And yes, there may have been a 10 cap on buying them, but there wasn't a cap on you going back on and making another order of 10. Because I've ordered 20 of the 2018s. If they're 1.4 million, then I'll happily have 20 of those packaged for £5 a piece. What's the law on me smacking a person on the bus who's giving me aggro? Reasonable force, proportionate, necessary. There's various things. End of the day, you shouldn't have to put up with stuff, and if the person's come towards you, then you can defend yourself using reasonable force. Not a problem at all. 17 non-tenant for circulation 50p's this year. Yeah, I assume you're including the Concords, the pantomimes. There may actually be even more if you're counting the Channel Islands, because there is a lot. Boyle's Thursday, Paddington Station, Silvercliff. Yeah, I ordered one of each of the Paddingtons as well. I got a couple of each already, but 30 quid a pop. I couldn't say no, really. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, we're now working on the basis that Louise is now. Oh, that looks quite kind of. No, just UK. In which case, yeah, there's a hell of a lot. Oh, yeah, I suppose 50 years of the 50p. So we got the 5 including Q, the 5 including the small size 1994, which is the only kind of interest out of the battle ones, the D-Day landings. The 50p, which is a 50p, just has got a little squiggle in the bottom from the spirograph, but that means they can charge you a tenner for it. Yeah, no £2 since 2016, but they did treat us in 2016, didn't they? Because we had the World War One Army, we had Great Fire of London, and we had a Britannia, and we had 3 of the Shakespeares, the histories, comedies, and the word I can't say, but it's a lot of tragic things put together. More than one tragic thing, but I can't say for love nor money. Yeah, 2 Gruffs, Hawkins, yeah, a hell of a lot. It's a money-making machine. They have to pay the engravers to engrave. I can't imagine they want to pay people for no reason at all. So these engravers making the... Oh, God. 2 seconds. There we go. Here's a song I prepared earlier. He's picked it up. Happy days. Right. Tanya £2 next year. Christopher said so. Oh yeah, must be true, because he's obviously, along with Coin Hunter, one a couple of people who are in the close range of people to get coins very quickly. Watson Gorman, Peter over 19, Snowman. Yeah, if you think of the speed that they're putting out, the second Gruffalo, Wallace and Gromit, and the Snowman, they're all overlapping in the space of 4 weeks. They're possibly overlapping in the space of 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, it's... I know they say, oh, they're duty bound to make a profit. Well, yeah, there's making a profit, and there's cream in it, and taking a Michael, I think they've definitely... Returning you £2, that, yeah, that's replaced the Tech £2 the Shoulders of Giants quite a while ago. First one being in 2015, though, Britannia, which was the low mintage 650, 650,000. Snowman, you haven't missed it, Marie. It's coming out in the next week. Purely your belief, but you believe they sponsor his channel. I don't think that's just your belief. I think lots of people believe that. I can't imagine a couple of the coin tubers I see on a regular basis actually have a full-time job. I'm assuming their full-time job is doing their coin tubing, and the only way you can do that is if you're making significant bucks from it. Yeah, you can do when you have a decent viewing audience, but I think there's more to it than that, and I think that they probably get a lot of their items at a better price than you and I could get them, if at all paying for the price. Yeah, but it always sounds like sour grapes. You know, I've got about 140 subscribers. It's going to take me blooming years probably to get past up to 1,000 or so. let alone into the tens or 30s of thousands. Uh, Marie, yeah, no one else is working, just you. Sorry, oh yeah, just you. Got this from the mine the other day from Mint You, the 50p. This is culture, yeah. Change checker. Very diplomatic for you. Yeah, I am very diplomatic, Carl. You know that. I can be. Right. Yeah, I played around with my 50p's and £2 over the last 2 days. I had no idea how long and laborious a job it was to count them all up and list them all down and then work out moving them between what I have on my eBay and now what I've got on my website. But I've now fully listed up every 50p that's available in circulation on my website and every £2 coin that's available in circulation on my website. So it's jam-packed with goodies. And obviously, like I say, if you buy anything from my website, just put down there in the notes, I'm a pirate or bandit, and I know you're from here, and I'll chuck in the bonus on top of that as well. Although there isn't currently, I don't think, any snowmen there because Global Hunter snapped them all earlier on. And I don't think I'll go around to adding any more back on. I may have, but I don't think so. Yeah, not just that. Some of the other sellers like Coin Hunter, I pre-ordered all. I got them ordered like £8 for the Wallace and Grommets. Well, yeah, that's a good price. And who wouldn't order a couple of those if you can get them that quick? Well, UK Coin Hunter gets his package the day after release, and he buys them from the UK. Yeah, there is the argument of saying that you have to go all the way over to and get your orders from Holland. Well, you don't. You can just walk into the Raw Mint shop and buy them, so you can get a hold of stuff quickly. But where am I? I would argue that there's something slightly unfair going on in regards to trade and everything else. I didn't realise these rockets were loose in here, or has that one just become loose? I think it's just become loose. Pushing back down. Come on. There we go. Right. I would say that there's something slightly unfair if I can have all of these delivered in very quick time, whereas Ian, who's buying in large quantity, a good customer, still hasn't got it. Few UK distributors, I think. Within sell coins. Yeah, I know that. The rocket has a magnet. Oh, magnet. Is it? Probably missing a word. Yeah, it's moving about. That makes it odd. Yeah, these are nice, but how I got these in the hand so quickly when a lot of other people are still waiting, I can't quite understand. Just saw the Silverproof Peter Rabbit and Bunk 2018 Peter Rabbit. Yeah. With the 2018 Peter Rabbits, although they're on back order, so they still took the order, so I'm still happy with that. But to get these at £5 each, if you consider how much the Jemima Puddle Duck package is going for now, it always goes for around 17, 18, 19, 20 or higher. And those are 1.7 million, and we now know that Peter Rabbit 2018 is 1.4 million. All you have to do is sit on it for a year or thereabouts, and it should probably, if you get them for £5 a pop, at least triple in value. So yeah, I bought 10, and then I was fiddling around doing something else, and went back on, and I did another order, and it accepted the order of another 10 quite happily. So we'll have a few of those. And Warren's reminding us that the UK distributors are all under the 288 Group umbrella. Yep, or if they aren't, then these companies which don't really even have the facility of making a credible website, let alone any form of distribution network. Oh, the rocket came off. He's got a magnet on the back. Brilliant. Cheers for that one. What we got there? Yeah, the 2018 bunk for 375. Ron, did you get any then, Ron? Because I found out after the fact. It looks like the day, the actual perfect day of the 50 years anniversary of the 50p, they did some really big bargains on the Royal Mint website, but they didn't seem to have advertised it. And by the time I heard about it, it had gone past the midnight of that day, and the prices have gone back. So they obviously did a really bonus price for anyone who is on their website on that particular anniversary day itself, but they didn't obviously advertise it. I'm a little bit gutted that I didn't find out, because if one of us found out early enough, we would have posted it on here, and we could all have then got a few bargains from the mint. Because as far as I'm concerned, the cheaper we get something from the mint, the less profit they can make from it, and they fleece us. It's only right that we fleece them back occasionally if we get a chance. Or do as close as we can do to that. Oh, by the way, whilst this is here, there's only a few of us on. There's only 13 of us. Most people probably run out of patience with my computer being a pain in the arse. Could you hit the like button? That would be much appreciated. Right. I was getting silver alphabets. Yeah, last night they're still half price, and I think they are to the. Oh, hang on. When was that, Ron? Because the silver alphabets are still on. Warren gave us the old voucher codes website. If you go in via that, it then gives you a list of all the things that you can get for 50% off. Included on that list at the bottom of when you're scrolling down, were all of the A to Z silver letters. I think memory serves correct. I think they made either 15 or 25,000 of each of them, probably thinking because of people's initials and everything else. But in reality, people went, hang on, that much money for a 10p on your bike. So it looks like they're doing like a fast sale to some degree to try and get rid of them. So I think now, because I'm pretty sure when I looked at it, that said that offer is valid until the 3rd of November. So should be fine today and tomorrow to go back onto the mint site via voucher codes and get it for half price. Yeah, so you're after the silver alphabets one. I think you can still get them for half price now. You just like the DSC 262 you can use on just anyhow when you get on there. If you're looking at half price in the rabbits, the packaged £10 ones. But if you're looking at the expensive kind of bargains, like Lighty said, you have to go on via voucher codes. I don't think it would have stopped the code in some products. I think they would have stopped it because they've probably now sold what they wanted to sell. I bought another box set. I've got a box set upstairs already. The box which has got the silver proof in the Perspex block and the book in a nice little posh box. I'd already got one of these for 60 quid quite a while ago, half price for the 2018 Peter Rabbit, which I was quite happy with. I've got it on my eBay now, I think, for 100 quid. I don't mind turning 40 quid profit, and whoever wants to buy it will be turning 20 quid profit on what they could have bought it for from the mint. Plus, they've sold out anyway, so they can get it from me cheaper. But I bought yesterday Flopsy Bunny, because they don't have any Peter Rabbit 18s left in the kind of the book and the coin in the box set, but it did still have the Flopsy Bunny, and I thought, being another 1.4 mil, I'll pick that one up for 60. So I'm a bit skint now. I've used a lot more money than I expected over the last 2 days because I've been taking up all the offers I could find. Yeah, the 2 weeks ago, Ron, would probably have been the anniversary, the 50 years of the 50p job. That was probably the day that I was referring to, that I found out that after the fact that there were some right bargains to be had on the site, but so be it. We missed it for now. There'll be another day, and hopefully most of us have milked it a bit using the codes that we currently got for this weekend. I know I was quite happy with that. It means I'm going to have to switch some dosh around from a different account, I think, to because it only is the 2nd of the month. Yeah, I was spending 50 here, 50 there, 120 there, and yeah, it soon goes. But I'm going to have a lot of stock coming in, and like I said, if you're looking at the price of a Jemima Puddle Duck now, and then you work on the same basis, the Peter Rabbit 2018's only 1.4 million, even less, then if you can pick those up at £5 like we are or did yesterday, and hopefully you still can now, then yeah, that should be an easy money spinner. It should easily triple, I would have thought, within 12 months. We don't have secret stashes. I've tried to be bribed about 4 times in my entire career, and most of the times it's not even enough for me to even consider it to be serious. I consider it more to be a joke. I had one person offer me 20 quid there and then if I would let him go rather than book him in. He's just been arrested. It was a bank holiday. I informed him that I'd be earning more than the 20 quid in the time it took me to book him in. He told me I was a ugly, fat, bold C. He wanted me to take his money, I think. But how many times do you accept? Never. And I sincerely doubt that I know a single cop who ever has. You're looking at, for that to be doable in any job, in any role, in any part of society, you've got to be looking at quite high up in the echelons to actually be able to make a difference, and for the money to be offered, which is sensible. There's lots of brown envelopes, as we're aware, but that's much mere mortals work out. Yeah. And sometimes I've had one person, I remember, he offered me 2 grand in cash, which he had in his hand there and then, to go out and pretend I didn't enter the room. And I thought, not much chance of that. I've got 5 coppers behind me, and he had about 30 grand in cash in there. And he had a press for making pills. It was basically, surprised he was making pills, but making the pills was just like printing money anyway. But yeah, he was most miffed. I was the first person through the door. I was playing close. I knocked on the door. He opened it, thought I was looking to buy. He was most miffed when I showed him my warrant card, and we went in. But shit happens. Was the silverproof wallet on code? Not a chance, Will. No, that just the stuff they're trying to close off. I put loads of things in my basket out of interest, and I tried lots of different things. Any of the modern stuff, no. The closest you could find, surprisingly though, was the 2019 Peter Rabbit. That was on there on the code for 5. That would halve it down to 5 quid. But yeah, not a lot there now, according to Warren. I think, bear in mind, we're a little coin-chewing family stroke society, whatever, but there's a lot of us out there, and there's a lot of people who probably have a little fish around on their website on a daily basis. A lot of people who use voucher codes and other things on a daily basis, and word of mouth. They probably, by having a little bit of a sale, have generated a shed load of orders. But you know, end of the day, I picked up a lot of rabbits at half price, and I picked up 2 Paddingtons at half price, and a nice floppy box set at half price. And when it's 120 quid, half price is a significant saving. I think you've got to be a fool to pay full price for it. But 60 quid, you pay that just for the silver proof in this block. So I got all the rest of it as extras to make it look more attractive for a buyer. Only about 8 left on there now. Ooh, heck. Yeah, they must have turned over a bomb. But to be fair to them, they'll probably work on the basis that they can just print some more. Because as we know, they don't consider printing things out of date to be wrong. What the hell was down to 250? Ron, don't tell me rabbits were now down to 250. That would really make me upset. Flopsy Taylor, well, it was down to £2.50. Seriously? Are you just trying to wind me up? And they had no Flopsies available yesterday. Oh, the folder, right. Cool. Let me go in there. Oh, these are silver proof left. Right. Cool. I wanted to. I really desperately wanted to get some packaged Flopsies. I didn't get any at all this year. I never got around to them. Last year, I just never bothered really too much with the ones that they releasing into circulation. I was more interested in getting the stocks of the ones they weren't releasing. Yeah, but that 120 via your voucher codes, Warren, is 60. So you pay that for it silver proof anyway. So winner chicken dinner. Well, at least if someone's reading back this stream, they can't say that we aren't talking about coins. Nothing but. Anybody want to talk about another coin? Oh, hang on. I think it was the fall 2018 Potters in the folder should be at least 60 from the value of the duck. Yeah, if you're sitting there for about a year and a half, I would have thought so. And if you have a look on eBay, where am I? You can still find things like this at a good price. Get into focus. So the ball and change checker cover, 150th in there. But I got this for 10 quid, including the postage, delivered to my door. And in there is Jemima Puddle Duck. This was advertised as the 2016 Beatrix Potter set. So it wasn't the best advertising in the world. Hi, Jared. Hi, Disney. But happily, because it wasn't the best advertising, I picked it all up. I only wanted it for the duck. The rest is just a bonus, really. But and again, where are they? Here somewhere. Here we are. I haven't taken off the. Right, there is a boring tailor. On the basis that I wanted to make sure that it was a sticker, and I couldn't tell with the naked eye because my eyesight's a bit pants. And I didn't want it to have been someone watercolouring over the top of it. Because there's Peter looking like a silver proof. Hang on, this picture is crap, isn't it? Someone said put your hand behind it, but I don't think I can hold it. Oh, there he is. That's a bit better. We've got Peter, we've got Flopsy. You can see on that one where the stick has gone slightly over, which is the I picked these up a set of four for are the bunk. These are, well, yeah, these would have been direct from bags. Someone would have grabbed them from the bags. Can't do like that, can I? They will not stay by that. Sorry. Right, Tittle Mouse. These are just like transfery stickers over the top of them, which I can just peel off. I was happy to buy these for 10 quid simply because I value the 3 coins. Forget Taylor of Gloucester, but the other ones I'm quite happy with. So I got rid. I'm a bit behind on the chat. Sorry. We had this lag yesterday as well, which is a pain. No, the 2016s. Oh, the 26. They aren't bunk, but they aren't far off being bunk, Ron. They're in good quality. I can't see really any marks on them, so I think they would have been put into the case early on, as soon as they were located by whoever I bought them from. Global Hunter, you said which 2008 1P are we looking for? We're looking for the 2008 with the portcullis on the front. If it's a shield version, the new type, no interest to anybody. They made tens of, well, probably hundreds of millions of them. It's the portcullis which is of interest. It's a low mintage and is well worth keeping. I have a nice wodge of them. Yeah, Ron's, you put on there 10 quid, still good for the duck. Yeah, that's what I thought. So the rest is basically, if I wanted to spend them, it's 2 quid off. So making it 8 quid for the duck, but I'll keep them because I do keep them. But no problem, Carl. How far behind am I on this chat? Is everything I say totally and utterly gobbledygook as a result of me answering earlier questions? No one's commenting, so I can't imagine it's too far off the mark then, which is good. Read this when you see it. Ooh, he's clever, technical. Don't tell me the exact amount of seconds I'm behind. For made me all conscious. Five seconds? Oh, that is a long time. Oh, like 30 seconds, yeah, I like it. But 5 seconds is bad enough, though. I can't understand why. 20 to 30 seconds, nothing major. About a minute. Oh, I know it would be an hour. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah. Ladles and jelly spoons. I come before you to stand behind you and to tell you about something I know nothing about. I think that is Spike Milligan. Laura is reminding people to hit the like button. Don't do it for me. No one likes me. But do it for the site, for the channel. Yeah, for all of us. Yeah, for little babies, for little baby kittens. Yeah. No one's been higher than 1 minute. Yeah, you got that one, Javid. I understand you had a really good hunt on 10p's, which is why I don't do 10p hunts. Cheers, one. You know, Ian was talking about getting foreign notes, banknotes, like Scottish ones, and I'm flogging them on because there's people making a profit. I won't do that, Ron. People say we're all bar stewards. We aren't. Some of us are, but not all of us. Hello, Andy. Yeah, I where has it gone? I'm done with that. Oh, here it is. I do work in regards to you can flog banknotes on as a profit. I came across a nice Clydesdale one. I asked the person at the till for them. Royal Bank of Scotland. Another Bank of Scotland there. And a nicer one, which is Ulster, Northern Ireland. And it's when you come to Scottish notes, and that's when you use the term, I think you'll find a legal tender. It's the only time people ever say those words in that order. Is when somebody's trying to use one at the till and someone else is saying, that looks like funny money to me. I've decided that I cannot be asked listing these on the off chance that some stage somebody may pay me a little bit over the face value for them. So I'm off to spend them. I'm going to get rid of them soon. Light is off to watch some boxing. And he's going to be back for the live auctions between 9 and 12. Yeah, some people are a little bit power hungry. I like when I see them using that sort of behaviour in my custody suite. I put them on their arse extremely quickly. I don't mind saying things that will embarrass people or belittle them in front of others if they're acting like a fool. I've never treated people in a different fashion to how I would want to be treated myself. And if someone's coming across as a bit of an arse, I normally try and tell them it. Yeah, massage. Or most of the time I've been doing acting inspector, but unit inspector, I prefer just being a sergeant. It's easier. Well, it's not easier. It's easier doing the inspectory bit, but you don't get to play with the prisoners, as it were. You just have to review them. It's a bit boring. Do you mean belittle the officers or arrestees? Never the arrestees. If an officer's coming across as a bit of an arse, I tell them it. And if they are embarrassed that I've told them that, then they shouldn't have acted like a bit of an arse. I always work on the basis that police officers are there because they're getting paid to be there, and that's their job. The people arrested, not always guilty, but the people arrested do not want to be there. They're probably quite miffed at being there, and they're upset and pissed off. Most of the time, they're also intoxicated. So, end of the day, they'll act up, but yeah, they don't want to be there. They aren't getting paid to be there. We are. Therefore, we should be the professionals, and we shouldn't be losing our rag, and we should be keeping it professional because that's what we're getting paid for. You can empathize with somebody even though you don't have to agree with them. Empathy is probably one of the most important things in life, is to be able to put yourself in their shoes and see from their perspective. You don't have to agree with what they're acting out or what they're saying and how they feel, but you just have to understand it. So empathy is really good. Ron says, never kick off when he goes, Nick, just chill out, go to sleep, wait for bell. Yeah, got to be done. Hot chocolate, 3 sugars, blanket, and I'm not saying out till I see my solicitor. Best way forward. And yeah, there's no point kicking off in custody, because if you're rude and abusive to the custody staff, then when you want something, well, you may have to wait a little bit longer because you've just been rude and abusive to them. So it's just cutting your nose off to spite your face. A little bit daft, really. I always like to think that if someone disagrees with me, then they ought to walk a mile in my shoes, because then they'll be a mile away and I would have got a bit of a tacky pair of shoes. So there's win-wins. Anyway, this is not the Great British Cop Hunt. This is coin related, so let's go there. I've got friends who go nuts in there, kicking the door. Yeah, they don't do all that silliness in my cells very much because we have a wonderful tool at our disposal named Parva. And if someone is self-harming, for example, or trying to get attention because they don't tend to self-harm particularly, self-harmers will do it quietly. And if someone's suicidal, they will not tell you. It's the people that tell me that they're suicidal and they try and kill themselves every day, and they have done for the last 5 years. I'm thinking, well, you're pretty shit at it then. You ought to go to a multi-story car park and dive off head first. Don't say that, but they've obviously got issues and they need help. It's the people who don't say anything. They are the ones to be of concern. It's the quiet ones. It's the quiet ones who will actually do it. It's the ones that talk about it a lot that don't do it. The quiet ones are always concerning, and yeah, I'll treat people with the biggest set of kid gloves you've ever seen, and I can spend an hour and a half booking somebody in. In fact, on occasion, I've actually taken the chair, 2 chairs around, and I've sat down next to them, and we've had a break from it because it's a little bit taxing, and we've had a cup of tea together. As far as I'm concerned, I'm getting paid to be there from the start of my shift to the end. I'm not getting paid depending on how many prisoners I book in. And some people will be very quick to get down the cells because they're prat. Others, they need a lot more care and attention, and they get it. They're humans, I'm human. But Parva is brilliant, because if someone is pretending to do something in order to get our attention, rather than risk injury to them and injury to us in removing the said item that they're messing around with, I tend to open the cell, give them a chance to give it up, and if they say no, I spray them with Parva. Doesn't cause any injury, doesn't cause any illnesses. It hurts like hell, but it doesn't injure, and it reduces and takes away all risk of injury to them and to me in removing the item and getting out of there, doing a safe cell evacuation. After a bit of aftercare and pouring water on, the stinging eyes that feel like hell start to feel a little bit better, and after an hour, normally back to normal. Is with Parva, it is the gift that keeps on giving. Good old Dr. Pepper. And if somebody has been Parva'd and they've recovered with aftercare, but they have not washed their hands fully, and say they're a gentleman and they're going to the toilet, even hours after they've been Parva'd, you can hear blood-curdling yell screams coming up from the cell block, and you realise that, oh, that must be cell 14's just been to the toilet. Should have washed their hands properly. Yeah, the gift that keeps on giving. I do forewarn them, but it is what it is. And to be fair, when we go in, we quite often get a lot of the Parva in our faces as well. What's the value for coins like 1p and 2p, which Ian is collecting for? Well, I think Ian's probably playing a long game. He's a clever man, and he's strategic, and he thinks out of the box. We know that the mints are taking in all of those coins because their metal value is more than their face value of the coin. At some stage, probably across Europe as well, with the euro and with the British pound and probably lots of other currencies, we're going to have to dispense with these silly 1s and 2p's and round everything off to 5 and 0s. A lot of people do that with their watch anyway. You say, what time is it? 10 past. Times it 25 to. They don't seem to know what minutes are. I think pretty damn soon, at some stage, they'll decide that we aren't going to have 1 and 2p's. At that stage, as soon as they cease to become legal tender, there'll be nothing to stop people turning them in for scrap. And if they already cost more now than a 1 or 2p that's blanked on them, when we get to the stage where they can be melted down, bronze is bronze. It's more expensive than copper. Copper is expensive. You can segregate the metals from them if you're clever enough, but I think the long game he's probably playing is scrap metal value. I just feel sorry for Chris. 20 kilos. I'm sure already 20 kilos. You need to just hire your own postal service to try and deliver 20 kilos of coins down to Dorset. That would be a nightmare. Well, got a lot of mental health problems. Last time I got nicked, the arresting officers were very accommodating, but unfortunately the custody sergeant wasn't. Yeah, unfortunately it is a case of sucking and see with who you get. Some are good, some are bad, some are more caring. And you got to bear in mind, some people may have just had a good day, or some people may have had a bad day. And all of these factors will determine the service that you receive. I've always been quite quiet and, well, not quiet, I've always been a gobshite, let's be fair. I've always been laid back, put it that way. I don't fight against things I can't win against. If something's happening I can't control and it's going to happen anyway, then I can kick up a stink and moan about it, but all that's going to do is raise my blood pressure and probably make me more prone to having a stroke or a heart attack. It's better to just ride the waves, and if you can't do anything about it, just go with the flow. So I've always been laid back in that regard. So I've always come across as relatively calm and quiet, and I suppose chilled out with booking people in and dealing with them in custody. But like I say, I don't suffer fools gladly, and if someone's prattling about, then obviously I deal with it in a robust manner. But I think most of us are all the same. We're all people, end of the day. But people, they see a uniform and all of a sudden, it can't be a person inside it. It's the uniform. And some people maybe having a right horrible pop about me and saying they're going to do horrible things to my wife and daughter and everything else. And but they're pissed off, they're upset, and they're lashing out. I don't really worry about it. Although the last time someone said something about my wife, I did say, actually, you're more than welcome. I'm divorced, but I'll give you the address. The arresting officers cracked up with laughter. The detainee didn't quite know what to say, but that is that. Right, Disney's got no sympathy for Chris. He bid her up all the way. I got him back on some auctions, though. Yeah, and you'd have pushed him up higher anyway, so you'd have gone towards his 20 kilos by going higher. Fair play, Disney. I like it. Yeah, Chris is now saying, Disney, that you never did go for the double print. He did dare you for doing a double whammy on a polar bear and an elephant. So they were all divorced, yeah. Hang on. If you've already seen this before, I apologise for doing things twice, but I work on a basis. I've got various tats. Fish, that stands for F it, S happens, which is my motto in life. So that's why there. So anything that's on me is on me for a reason. I don't do them lightly. Sorry, no reference to Warren there when I said don't do them lightly. So I'm not going to try and have something covered up or removed or turned into a different picture. I had my wife's name put on there after 20 years, and then she leaves me for someone older. So I don't change it. We go into the light. I put a big void stamp over the top of it because the name was put on there for a good reason, but now it's void. Hello, Chloe. Nice of you to join. Oh, that's a point. Matt was after someone to cover his hour. Did someone agree to cover his hour, or on the basis that Warren did my first hour, do you want me to run over into the next hour? Lorna or Chris, does anyone know the running plan? Because I'm more than happy to stay on until 9 if Matt did need covering if we didn't get anyone else. But if someone else is queued up and waiting to log on and waiting for me to sod off, then obviously I'll disappear. Jamie's on. Okay, right. Crossed out. Yeah, shit happens, yeah. When we'll print, what can you do with that? I have no idea what you mean there, Javid. You want to print, you'll send in whatever coins you want for it, or cash, and I'll post it to you. What can you do with it? You can stick it in a frame if you want. It's always a good idea with pictures. Jamie, you're there. Are you there ready to cover then? Yeah? Do you want to cover? Because I don't mind staying on. It's down to whether you've already agreed. I don't know. I was having my tech problems, but during that I noticed the yep is that yes you'd like to cover, and I'll log off and you take over. Is that correct? Or is that yep I stay on? I'm confused. Not be able to get him off. Lol. Hi Jamie. Ah, all right. Yeah, cool. Agreed with Warren. Does he Warren say anything? Yes, mate. Cool. All right. Oh, you agreed with one. Right. Cool. In which case, bye, everyone. Sorry we had some technical problems earlier on. Jamie's about to take over from now till 9, and then at 9 o'clock we have Warren and some live auctions. So, as I normally say now, because it's getting to be my tradition and my little kind of tagline, I'll see you all on the flip side. Bye, peeps. All yours, Jamie. I'm ending stream now. That's unfortunate. You wanted on a live stream, don't know what to do with it. Well, time to donate to charity, always a good one.